So fine, let us do one thing. Let us continue with this. So what I'll do is I'll delete these, all of them, and we'll go back to the page. Yeah, now once you remove all these measures and dimensions, the changes will be reflected accordingly. So now let us do one thing. Let us make a small comparison for the wind and the solar electricity. So I'm taking wind and the wind electricity and the solar electricity and the wind electricity. And in this format, we have taken them as what? As measures. Again, when we made those changes got reflected as columns and the row panes. But now mind, now these are the sum values that we've taken. Let us click on sort. Okay, we don't need to sort anything because they're already in the given format. Wind and electricity, they are what? They are renewable energy. You can also take hydroelectricity as a nuclear and as a renewable energy. And let us take the row labels out here. So now if you bring these here, measure names can be changed, right? Remove the measure names. You don't want them. Right. So we are seeing the row labels for hydroelectricity and this as well. Electricity, wind, and solar. Hydro, solar, and wind. You can see them as box in this plot as well. Wait, yeah, the row labels will come here. Okay, so now there is one reason that we are seeing here taken in this format, because for the world as a whole, the values are very, very high. So since the values for the world are very, very high, so the rest of the values will not show up. So let us do one thing. I'll bring about a small change in the world's value, and then we'll make a comeback and we'll copy it over here. So let us do one thing. I'm going to pick this data set here, energy, right? Let's make some minor changes out here and bring it. So what I'm doing here is I'm sorting it for the world. Clicking on the row label and let us select all and I'll select only world. So the world's values will reflect here. We'll delete those values. Maybe we'll save it afresh. Oh wait, let us also do one thing. Let's see if this particular data set does not have it. It cannot have it. Selecting world and I'm clicking here and deleting it. Underscore new. I'm just saving it as a new file. We'll copy this data on virtual machine and then we'll update that data set. Desktop. I'm renaming this as energy data so as to override the previous data sets. I'm renaming this as we can't do that. We'll have to import a fresh file. New file. It's a text file that we have. So we bring it here and yes, this is the file. Let's open this. So this is what we have. Okay, this is the CSV file that we have. And let us take biofuel electricity here. gas, electricity here, and row labels on the columns. And now we see here that we do not have any world data as we were thinking of. Okay, there is no world data set that we are seeing here. Let's click on show me, and if I scroll down over here, there is no data specific to the world. And so since it is not, that we are now able to see the data in a much broader fashion. So now what I'll do is, yeah, we can sort it here also. So let's sort them here. These are the nested values that we already have. Let us add biofuel as a filter. Instead of biofuel, we'll add the GDP as a filter. Apply. Okay. And we'll show this GDP here as a filter. So it is over here. Now, as we change the GDP values, those values will be reflected over here. Of course, China is the second largest after United States. Surprisingly, even Indian GDP is not too far, as you can see here. But again, based on the GDPs, we are implementing the changes in the biofuel and the gas, electricity, fuel sources. So this is how you are working on that apart. Let us go on the pages also. So we want to take per capita electricity on pages. Yeah. So we have the per capita electricity also. And if we make any changes here, these values, when we change, per capita for electricity is dependent really. If I select 265, 768, then what will show up? Then only that particular country, that is Germany, will show up over here. So if you are making any changes to the per capita GDP, per capita electricity consumption, and we change or select anything in accordance, then those values will come up over here. And you can see it over here. This is slow, this is normal, this is fast. These are the movements as to what type of values do you want to see. This is how you'll be able to use the pages also. You can sort it here. If you want to sort, you can sort the order as a data source order or manual order as well. And out here, they've taken the marks as automatic. If you want, you can change it here as a circle. You can see here that we have the values here in circle. You can loop playback the pages. Circle, you can also make it a line, a straight line. Of course, based on the filters that you have selected, typically for GDP, those values can be different. And if I change it over here, the per capita GDP is reduced. So this is how you can work on the different panes that we have here. We also seen it for marks for the filters we've seen. Click on filters again. Click on GDP. You can apply to worksheets. Only for this worksheet, you can also apply it using this data source. You can add to context also, create set, dimension, measure, things like that. Edit the filter. So if you're selecting at least, it will appear as at least. If you select as at most, then those values will come up over here in this range. Let's apply at least and see how it shows up. So depending on how you want to apply the filters, the changes in the data visualization graph or the data visualization itself will be reflected accordingly. That apart, Let us see if we can take the renewables energy also. Yeah, we have taken the renewable energies also, except that we need to take them like this, or we'll take them as this manner. Yeah. So we can see here that the effect of renewable energies is different for different countries. Particularly in case of Russia, it is the highest. The gas electricity is the highest. Why is that? Because it is the largest producer of oil and gas in the world, next to Saudi Arabia or a non-OPEC country. This is for the renewables electricity. They have a healthy renewables electricity production as well. Then thereafter we have what? We have the United States, which is a largest renewables electricity producer in the world at 22,164 megawatts, 22.164. Not too far. India too has a healthy generation of renewables electricity. Although its gas electricity and biofuel electricity is low, which is also in line with the climate change targets that each country sets. So these are the points that we have as far as pains are concerned. Let us go to our course contents and let's review the course contents also. So where do we stand? Yeah, it was randomly. Yeah, it's okay. So typically we understood how to use the rows, column, marks, filters, and pages panes. We also understood the filters and the sort data in the data views that I had showed you all over here. The data sources here. Out here also we had used the filters and the sort data that we have. You can select on this and it will give you the different values. You can also describe this data. So if I click on describe, it gives you the description for the given column and the data set therein, data details therein. So we can close this.